Oh, where's my water? Oh no. Right back. All right. Sorry. Gotta have water. I talked so much during this and I shouldn't be talking at all. All right, 3:40. Hi guys. All right, yes, 3 days in a row. I know, amazing, right? I'm just keeping myself busy. So, up front, I'm going to say again, I'm going to continue with my music collection. Here's a few artists, bands that have meant a lot to me. If you make any comments, I won't be able to respond to them in real time, but I will later. So just bear with me. I'm going to ramble again. Yesterday's was really long. Yesterday was really long. If you didn't see yesterday's, I just talked about Beatles and Kiss for like 35 minutes. I should really speed this up, right? I really just... Part of me is like, you guys get bored. The other part of me is like, maybe you're interested in all this goofy crap that I have to say. I don't know. So I've laid out 4 artists. Knowing how much I talk, I probably won't get to them all, but I'm going to get to 3. I'm going to make sure I get to 3 of them. So here we go. Here's where we're going to start. We're going to start in a place that's probably unexpected, maybe. But here's what we're going to do. This artist was very influential for me in high school, and I wish I had his career, to be honest with you. Here we go. Artist number 1. And again, we're down to the people that have meant a lot to me. Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton. So, the initial reaction that everybody has to Michael Bolton is like, and it's like he's a joke. He's not a joke. He's not a joke at all. First of all, I can understand how people are turned off by his voice. If you don't like the strainy kind of quality of his voice, then yeah, you get a pass. Totally, I get that because not everybody likes everybody's voice. I don't like Mark Slaughter's voice. Just don't like it. I'm sure he's a great guy and writes good songs. Can't get past it though. But if you can't get past his voice, I get that. However, if that's not the issue, and all you know is like the punchline jokes about Michael Bolton, it's not really fair. He's actually phenomenally talented. First of all, his singing voice, he's got a crazy range. He's got a great high register in his voice. It's really impressive. He can also sing rock, although most people don't know of his rock stuff. He can sing ballads, he can sing soul. He's got a very good, very malleable voice. And I came into him in high school. So the first thing I knew about Michael Bolton, like maybe a lot of you, was How Can We Be Lovers? How can we be lovers if we can't be friends? How can we start over? You know that song, which is a great song. To this day I hear that song and I'm like, Jesus, what a great song. Oh, that's another thing. I don't have the lights on. There we go. That helps. I was not prepared today. That is a great song, How Can We Be Lovers? So it's Desmond Child, Diane Warren, and Michael Bolton. This great radio song with his incredible chord changes the chord changes during the verses are even really impressive. And then the key change at the end, the stacked harmonies, na 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 na, all the layer melodies and stuff. That's a cool song, man. So I bought this record because of that song, and then I just started listening to everything else on here. And this is just pure Diane Warren, sometimes Desmond Child, just great radio stuff of the mid to late 80s. So there's great stuff on here. It's Only My Heart. How Am I Supposed to Live Without You was the big hit that he had also. You Wouldn't Know Love is cool. That was covered by Cher, actually, later on. So was, Stand Up for Love was heartbreaking. I had a really tough time in senior year in high school. Pretty heartbroken. So, actually, Michael Bolton records meant a lot to me. Stand Up for Love was a big one for me, and How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, and what was that one? Walk Away. So anyway, this is really good. So like the Desmond Child, Diane Warren, kind of very polished 80s stuff. Very great stuff. So I started with this one, and then right at that time in my life, he came out with this one. So Time, Love, and Tenderness, which everybody knows, which is a big record. It's very, early 90s. You can look at it, but I bought this album and I loved it. I love this record. It's just easy pop, great harmonies and melodies. Again, Desmond Child, Diane Warren, all over this thing. Time, Love, and Tenderness was an okay song. Missing You Now, Forever Isn't Long Enough. Just a cool song. Great harmonies and vocals on all these things. Now That I Found You, We're Not Making Love Anymore is a great song. Steel Bars, co-written with Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan and Michael Bolton co-wrote a song together. Love it. He actually, some of you know this, Love Is a Wonderful Thing. You might know he was sued by the Isley Brothers, I think it was, for another song they had called Love Is a Wonderful Thing from the 19-whatevers. He actually lost that suit. Michael Bolton personally paid out $1 million because of that. And it was bullshit because I listened to both songs and you know what? There's only 12 notes. There's only so many lyrics. It was a stretch at most. He got screwed on that. He got screwed bad on that. So then I got into that. So then I worked back. So I worked back into this one, which is very, very good. So this is The Hunger. This was a lot, there was some stuff on here by Jonathan Cain and Neil Schoen of Journey. In fact, the song "You're All That I Need" is basically a Journey song if you listen to it. I mean, it really is. It's Neil Schoen and Jonathan Cain wrote it. It's got the same keyboard and guitar sounds as Journey, classic Journey, 1987. I mean, basically it is. That song and The Hunger are kind of Journey-esque. But there you go. So I'm going to go through them real quick, like I normally do. By the way, Michael Bolton got pigeonholed as somebody who covers songs because he had the hit with Dock of the Bay and George on My Mind. Totally unfair. You know, his records had one cover on them, and once he had hit with Dock of the Bay, the record company started releasing his covers, which is crap. He shouldn't have got labeled like that because he's a songwriter. He's a good songwriter. He wrote for other artists, and everybody does a cover on it. The Beatles do covers on their records. Rod Stewart does a cover on all of his records in the 70s and 80s. So he got a bad rap on that. So here you go. Michael Bolton, his first couple records when he was a young kid. Haven't listened to these yet. And then here's Everybody's Crazy. Everybody's Crazy, right? This is an old copy. When I got this, it was not easy to get. Now it is. Bruce Kulick is on here, right? I should know more about this than I do, but I don't. I got to go back and listen to this. I haven't listened to this since I was a kid. But the good stuff on here. If you don't know that Michael Bolton can rock, look up the song Everybody's Crazy. Listen how crazy high he's singing. It's ridiculous. I don't have anything. I can't find Blackjack. Some of you guys know what Blackjack is. He was the band that he was in before he was a solo artist, Blackjack. Can't find any Blackjack stuff. I imagine it's good. So there you go. Everybody's Crazy. Look at that. 1983, I think, right? 85. I was wrong. Do I have these in the wrong order? I do. So, okay, there's that. But I have this one also. Michael Bolton, self-titled. Fool's Game is on here. You guys know Fool's Game? My dad used to play Fool's Game in a band in high school. So, Fool's Game is a great song. She did the same thing. And I love the song, I Almost Believed You. I Almost Believed You. Great song. So, there's that one, self-titled. And then we move on to The Hunger. Again, great stuff on here. A couple little... It's not a Journey record. I shouldn't say that. But Jonathan Cain is involved in the song You're All That I Need. Is very Journey-esque. I think Eric Martin does backup vocals on that, by the way. Eric Martin of Mr. Big. But good, pretty good stuff on here. It's kind of hit and miss. That's what love is all about. Great song. The Hunger, great song. And then here you go. Soul Provider. Get it. It's got to be cheap on Amazon. I didn't look this time because I'm starting to feel bad about pimping Amazon. But good record. I'll tell you what. I mean, I always like the people that are down on Michael Bolton, but they love Bon Jovi. It's not the same. I'm not saying it's the same, but there are similar elements involved with the Desmond Child aspect in the production of these records. He really is very, very good. I shouldn't have made that comparison. It's not Bon Jovi, but there's similar players involved. Time, Love, and Tenderness, good. Early 80s. He gets more soft rock stuff, which is kind of disappointing, but it's done very, very, very well. Done very well. And then he made this record, a collection of covers. And I'll be honest, at the time, I ate it up because I was a kid and I was in high school and I got these, and I never heard... Other than White Christmas and You Send Me, I've never heard any of these songs. I never heard Since I Fell For You, To Love Somebody. Well, I guess I heard yesterday. But, you know, David Foster and Michael Bolton just doing a covers record. Wasn't really necessary, but it was selling albums. So, I give it that. And then there was this, The One Thing. Some production on here by Mutt Lange. Mutt Lange co-wrote Said I Loved You But I Lied. You can hear Mutt Lange on the background vocals. Said I Loved You But I Lied is pretty good. There's a great song here called Completely, Diane Warren. And then it kind of hits and misses. Ain't Got Nothing, Ain't Got Love is very Mutt Lange. Sounds like the early 90s Bryan Adams sound. It's interesting. And Time for Letting Go is pretty heartbreaking too. Not bad, but it gets softer and softer as we go. And then, you know, the musical landscape changed. So he put out this in 1997, Cut His Hair. That was a big deal apparently. This was hit and miss from what I remember. It's actually on my list to go back and listen to again. Because I didn't really like it at the time, but I might like it now. Because I love Michael Bolton, so this should be good, right? So, anyway. And then he made this one in 2002. This is actually a very strong record. There's some really good stuff on here. I don't know how much this is, but if you ever like the classic Michael Bolton stuff, and you didn't know he had this in early 2000, it actually is pretty good. Only a Woman Like You. Only a Woman Like You. That song's co-written by Shania Twain and Mutt Lange, and Dance With Me's cool. I Want to Hear You Say It. All That You Deserve. Like half this record... Richard Marx, I think, wrote Slowly or Simply, one of those two. Some good stuff on here. Very good stuff on here. Worth it if you like the soft rock, like Soul Provider, Time, Love, and Tenderness, Michael Bolton. I'd look into that one. Then he's got this one, which I haven't listened to yet. It's kind of half of a live album, half studio record. And then he did this a few years ago. One World, One Love. Hit and miss, but there was some decent stuff on here. I Hope It's Too Late, You Murder My Heart. stuff like that. Pretty good. So, not bad. So, there's Michael Bolton stuff. Big fan of Michael Bolton. He's not a punchline. If all you know about him is the punchline, I would check out, I guess I go with this one, really, more than anything. Soul Provider, Time, Love, and Tenderness. I would check those out. So there you go. There's my Michael Bolton collection. Let's move on, right? Because I don't know how much everybody really cared about Michael Bolton. But I love Michael Bolton. That stuff really spoke to me when I was a early, late teenager. And I wanted to be him. I wanted to write songs for other people. And he wrote I Found Someone by Cher. And all right, we'll move on. We're going to move on to another songwriter. Again, I don't know how many of you guys will dig this, but it's my collection. So this is one of the greatest American songwriters ever. Ever. It's not Dolly Parton. It could be, but I haven't listened to Dolly Parton stuff yet. But this guy is phenomenally talented. He is classic American songwriting and just one of the best songwriters there's ever been. I'll try not to gush too much. Let's go with this. I might just run through these records. James Taylor. James Taylor, man. If all you know about James Taylor, just like Michael Bolton, is that he's like a soft rock guy, yes, he is. But the guy writes songs, real chord changes, like incredibly interesting voicings on the guitar, very good chord changes. It's very chordy stuff. He's got songs about things that are very, very interesting. So I'm not going to comb through all of it because he's got a ton of records, all right? I'm not going to go through and give you my la 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 because it gets old, but I'm just going to show them to you real quick. I just want to say this. If you don't, I'm going to pick out a song or two as we go that is like essential. Just if you're a human being, if you're alive, you should have heard the song Mill Worker by James Taylor. Enough to Be on Your Way by James Taylor is just incredible songwriting. Such great lyrics. I wish I could write like James Taylor. So here we go. There we go. There's the first one. I'm just going to kind of run through these real quick. There's so many of them. If anything really jumps out at me, I'll say so. James Taylor, Sweet Baby James. The song Sweet Baby James, gorgeous. What a great little lullaby. Sweet Baby James. We'll just move on. Mudslide Slim. Let's just move on. Because he kind of gets better as we go. I feel like I'm under like a shot clock. Like I want to just talk fast so you guys don't get bored, but so be it. One Man Dog. I don't think I've listened to this yet, actually. I haven't gotten around to this one yet. Walking Man. Also, there's like 3 or 4 records of his I still haven't digested. This is one of them. So there you go. Gorilla. Mexico is a great song. Sarah Maria, so beautiful. Lighthouse is good. You Make It Easy. I Was a Fool to Care. So cool. There's Gorilla. There we go. What is this? In the Pocket. Junkie Leads Lament. Money Machine. Woman's Gotta Have It. Woman's Gotta Have It. It's such a great little groovy song. Woman's Gotta Have It. I love that. Don't Be Afraid Because Your Sun Goes Down. I think it's co-written with Stevie Wonder. Crazy. All right, let's move on. JT. There's that one. Your Smiling Face. Secret of Life. Great song, too. Terra Nova. All right, here we go. Flag. There's Flag. Brother Trucker's pretty cool. Mill Workers on here. Mill Workers on Flag. So good. All right, Daddy Loves His Work. Anything good on here? That Lonesome Road. Look up That Lonesome Road. So good. Okay, That's Why I'm Here. My Romance. I didn't know My Romance was a cover. My Romance. James Taylor singing My Romance is gorgeous. Look it up. My Romance is so good. Mona's pretty good. Move on. Look how prolific this guy is. He never stopped. Never Die Young. Valentine's Day. Beautiful. Sun on the Moon is very cool. Let's keep going. New Moonshine. I love this record. Copperline is beautiful. Shed a Little Light. Frozen Man. The Water's Wide. Really, really good stuff there. Hourglass. This might be my favorite. Enough to Be on Your Way. Enough to Be on Your Way by James Taylor. Just listen to it. It's so good. That's a beautiful song. Gaia. Light 'Em Up. Jump Up Behind Me. I think Sting does backup vocals on Jump Up Behind Me. I'm pretty sure he does. There you go. James Taylor's Greatest Hits. There's Live. And then October Road, which is really good. September Grass, October Road, 4th of July. This is very, very good, too. He seems to keep getting better. And then his last one out last year was his first #1 last year. Before This World is a really, really solid record. I listened to this over and over and over again. But it came out when I would be outside in the night skating. Angels of Fenway, if you're from Boston, you should listen to Angels of Fenway. Snow Time, Before This World, Jolly Far Afghanistan. It's really, really, really good stuff. So, I don't really know what to say about James Taylor. Most people already made up their mind about James Taylor, and I get that. But he really is every bit as good as anybody says he is. He's got his greatest stuff is the album cut stuff. It's the stuff you really got to dig for. But he's got a unique songwriting style, a unique voice, and he's incredibly just one of the best songwriters. He just writes real songs about real things. So you gotta respect the crap out of James Taylor. So I'm a huge fan of James Taylor. Love that stuff. All right, we're gonna move on because I know my rock friends are now bored because I talked about Michael Bolton and James Taylor. So how long have we gone? We have gone 15 minutes. All right, here we go. I won't talk as fast this time. I'll try not to. Here's one of my favorite bands ever. I love this band. Okay, we'll just go from here. Ready? This band made one of my favorite albums of all time. But it's 3 really, really, really good ones. Here we go. This band. You know what? I should have labeled this broadcast punchlines, because Michael Bolton was a punchline. James Taylor can be a punchline, and this band is definitely a punchline, which is crap. Ready? One of the best rock bands of the genre. Winger. Hell yeah, Winger. Oh my God, Winger. Winger is so good. Winger is so good. So, Winger has this reputation of being a crappy band, which is total bullshit. Kip Winger, first of all, has one of the greatest voices. His range is insane. His tone is wonderful. I've seen him live a couple times. He's impeccable live. They're a band of real musicians. Red Beach is an incredible guitarist. Rod Morgenstein is an incredible drummer who played with the Dixie Dregs. He's just really real musicians were in Winger who wrote real songs with great chord changes. So I got into Winger when they first came out. 17 was the hit. 17 is not the greatest song ever, but I liked it. My mother had this tape. So I heard this all the time growing up, and I absolutely love. I love this record. I love this one. They get better, but this is very good. The only song on here that I don't like is Poison Angel. Everything else I love. Madeline's great. Hungry's great. Without the Night. Without the Night is such a great ballad. I saw an interview with Kip Winger that said they had Miles Away when they were making this record, and they didn't put it on this record. And then he ended up writing Without the Night, and then later on realized he had just rewritten Miles Away. That's why Paul Taylor's credited as songwriter on Without the Night. Because Without the Night, Miles Away. And he's like, oh, I just wrote, so kind of interesting. I never put that together until I saw the interview a year ago. But Without the Night is such a great song. I love that one. Time to Surrender, State of Emergency, just great stuff. I don't understand the cover of Purple Haze. There's talk about it. I got the Rock Candy reissues also of this, because it's a great record and very interesting stuff on here also. But just very good. So just the problem was Kip Winger was too pretty. He was just way too much of a pretty boy. He had just incredibly, just ridiculous blue eyes, deep blue eyes, and this insane white teeth. And just, I mean, he was just too pretty, and he trained in ballet when he was a kid, so he was graceful, so he was a pretty boy, and so they became a punchline. It's such crap because they were such a solid band. So this record is killer. I don't know what it is on Amazon, but it can't be that expensive. Really good. And then what did they do? They just got better. In the Heart of the Young, this album. I listened to this so many times. I was in high school when this came out, and I listened to this to death. This album took over my life for a long time, all the way through. Loved everything about it. I mean, look how goofy we look. It's so great. It's so great. Just the logo, just everything about this, I adored. I love every song except In the Day We'll Never See. Don't really like that song, but my God, how good is this record? Everything about it is great. The vocals are amazing. The guitar playing is amazing. I always loved Rainbow and the Rose, just all the keyboards and the weird chord changes in that, but so good in the long outro guitar solo. Speaking of which, real quickly, Headed for a Heartbreak has got some actually very fancy, some pretty expensive chord changes for a rock band. It's not a simple 1-4-5 rock ballad. It's actually a real song with real chord changes. Another thing Winger never got credit for is their songwriting. Better songwriters than Poison, than, Bon Jovi, than just the musicality of it was far advanced from a lot of the other bands. They didn't get enough credit at all. Bullshit. Miles Away broke me to pieces, like it did a lot of Miles Away just killed me. Easy Come, Easy Go, Under One Condition. I love the Beau Hill production. I just love the sound of Beau Hill records of this time. It's just classic. In the Heart of the Young, I love. So this album just played over and over and over in my head. Like, I was 16, and I used to listen to In the Heart of the Young, and I was 16 going, that's me. You know, this is me. Interesting thing about this also is I heard that they made the record, they were done, and the record company said they didn't have a radio single, similar to Cherry Pie. Didn't have a single, so Kip Winger wrote Easy Come, Easy Go, went back and put it on the record. Maybe Can't Get Enough also, but I know Easy Come, Easy Go was a late addition, so they had something for the radio. And he said he actually doesn't really love it, but my dad loves that song. But there you go, Winger and the Heart of the Young. So good. Also got the Rock Candy reissue of that. I can't say enough about it. I love Winger. So you got to get the Demos anthology. So you got Demos anthology, which is all. Oh, actually, let's wait. I got ahead of myself. Excuse me. Now we're gonna move on to their greatest record and one of the greatest hard rock records ever, Pull by Winger. Jeez, how good is this? I have an album review of this already on my YouTube channel, so you can look at that. But this blew me away. To this day, just again, I listen to this record over and over and over and over again. I know this album inside and out. The only song I don't like is Who's the One. Blind Revolution, Mad. One of the greatest album openers of all time. The vocals all over this record are insane. It's so good. There's nothing I can really say about it. It's got a lot more dark, a lot heavier, but it's damn good. I think every song is drop tuned. They're all in E and A, right? All songs are E and A. But, God, they're so good. Spell 'Em Under, the note he hits in that is insane. In My Veins, it's just wonderful, wonderful records. Listen, if you like the hard rock stuff and you never got Pulled by Winger, if you just kind of lost interest in them and you don't have this, how good is this? Oh, God, so good. It deserves me to talk about it for an hour, but all I can say is it's phenomenal. And if you love hard rock stuff and you liked Winger, this was their best album. I think any Winger fan, I think the majority of Winger fans would agree this was their strongest record. Just so good. It wasn't as poppin' radio as the first two, but God, it's so good. So then that was over. They broke up. Musical landscape changed. You get the Demos anthology, which is really interesting because it's all these records in their demo form, which is pretty much the same thing. But also some other really good songs on here. All I Ever Wanted and Someday Somewhere is really good. Some good stuff on here. So if you're a huge fan of Winger, like I am, you should pick this up because there's another 5, 6, 7, 8 songs in here that aren't on any of the records that actually are pretty good. And the recordings aren't bad either. Like, they're good. And God, Kip Winger could sing. Crazy high voice that guy has. Insanely high voice. So, huge fan of Winger. I love Winger. They did not deserve the punchline that they got saddled with. Kip Winger's a pretty boy, and they wrote poppy songs. I don't know why on earth they weren't taken seriously, because they were far better musically and songwriting-wise than almost all the other bands of their kind. Really, they were better songwriters and musicians than... That's another thing about this kind of music. Like, 80s music is given like a bad rap, that it was cheesy and goofy. But I tell you what, no other genre... You think about this. No other genre of music ever, of popular music, ever emphasized being good more than the 80s stuff. Because if you couldn't play guitar, you were not in the band. If you couldn't play drums really well, you weren't in the band. If you couldn't sing really high, you were not in the band. If you couldn't write your own, you weren't in the band. You had to be good at your instruments. You had to be good at singing to be successful in the 80s. And then you still had to be good later, but not as good. And no other time in pop music did you have to be that prolific and good in your instrument to be successful as the 80s. So that's true. If anybody can prove me wrong, I'm listening, but I really believe that. Let's move on. Winger then regrouped in the 2000s, and they made this, Winger 4. I know that Kip Winger himself, this is like his favorite record, and he's disappointed that a lot of fans didn't connect with it. And I'm one of those fans that didn't really connect with it. I didn't hate it. I was so excited they had another record, and then it's kind of like, oh, I see. But there's good stuff on here. Four Leaf Clover is cool. M16 is cool. The Great Escape is cool. On a Day Like Today. Can't Take It Back is great. But it's really just a record about soldiers and war and a lot heavier, meatier topics. And they're really proud of it. It's not bad. It just was. It was definitely a left turn, but so be it. And then they did. Was it the Karma? It's Karma. What is it? It was Karma, right? Yeah, Karma came out like 2007, I think. 2008. Let's look. 2009. This is good. This is closer to like the Pole stuff. It's a little heavier. Starts Deal with the Devil, Stone Cold Killer's great. Big Rolled Away is great. It's a band changing, and that's fine. Pull Me Under is good. Always Within Me, I really love. So there's really good stuff on here. If you didn't check out, if you liked Pull, I'd probably get this one. It's heavier, pretty good. And then Better Days Coming. This was good too. Again, it's they're older now. They're not going to make the same record over and over, and I get that. For what it is, it's pretty good. I liked actually most of the songs except Better Days Coming. Didn't like Better Days Coming. Soul on Shine is a great song. Ever Wonder's cool. Be Who You Are. Be Who You Are Now, Out of This World. So this is very, very good stuff. I love it. I'm glad they're at least still making music. So it's worth getting if you were a Winger fan. Definitely worth getting. But there's nothing like the first three. So, how long have I talked? Yeah, that's long enough. I had another band laid out, but I'm going to wait. So that's kind of it. I love Winger. I love Michael Bolton, and I love James Taylor. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I could continue gushing about the first three Winger records and say these were part of my childhood, that I drove around in my little town in Missouri just listening to these records over and over and over and over again and just feeling connected to something bigger than me. And then I finally saw Winger live a couple years ago, and that was a treat. I've seen all these people live. Michael Bolton front row. At the Michael Bolton concert, by the way, I'm going to tell this story, and I don't mean in disrespect by this, but I got to the Michael Bolton concert. I was front row, decent-sized place. There was a guy sitting next to me with a picture in his lap and an empty seat next to him, and he just felt the need to start talking to me, as people do. And he proceeded to explain to me that he showed me the picture, which was his wife. And his wife was gone now. And his wife and him were big fans of Michael Bolton. And she had passed away a few months ahead of time. But they bought the tickets to go to the show together. So he came to the show, brought his wife's picture with him, and sat next to me and cried the entire show. I felt bad for him. At the same time, it did not enhance my concert experience. That's a real thing. And then at the James Taylor concert is the closest I've ever come. And think about it. I've been to rock shows. I've been to a ton of concerts. The James Taylor concert is the closest I ever came to getting in a fist fight. Because these two women, it's a James Taylor concert. These two women sat next to me, and they were loud talkers. And they were, la, la, la. And then Sally did this, and then I went, and they were just talking. And it was fine until the show started. And then the show started. It's James Taylor. It's intimate, quiet music, and they didn't stop talking. And the people in front of me were turning and looking at them, giving them dirty looks, and I'm like, I gotta say something. I was so nice, like, hey, excuse me, look, I'm glad you guys are having fun. If you could just kind of just talk a little quieter, kind of like I'm talking to you, I mean, I appreciate it. And they're like, she just turned to me, I paid for the seat, I'll do whatever I want. I'm like, she said, if you touch me again, I'll deck you. I was like, oh my God. I was at a James Taylor concert. These women were insane. And then they were total jerks about it. And then and then when people would clap, they'd go, shh, shh, quiet everybody. This guy wants quiet. I mean, it was amazing. They were so rude. And she's like, I got my seat, I'll do it. So then I got my phone out. I'm so mean, but I did it anyway. I got my phone out, I turned on the flashlight, and I shined at him. I was like, my seat, I can do whatever I want, my seat. At a James Taylor concert, I almost got in a fist fight with a couple ladies. Just unbelievable. So there you go. Why am I talking about that? I should go. Thanks for listening. There you go. Michael Bolton, James Taylor, and Winger. 3 incredibly important artists and bands in my life. There'll be more coming. Thank you for listening. Here's my website. That's me. I think that's all I got. I talked a lot about this, didn't I? These aren't even interesting anymore, are they? All right, thanks for listening, guys. Take care.